Just fucking do it. Subscribe now.
I would normally say good evening, but it may not be good for you, so I'm not going to say that. Welcome to the beginning of an extraordinary week. This week we have some real special things, and a couple that has gone through the process that are going to be here for questions from you after dinner. We get a lot of, since we have in excess of a 60% divorce rate, legitimate. Now some of you are hoping that comes to fruition for you. I understand that, because you've been married to the same old fucking hag, you know. But we do, and as I told Amber and John, our guests, during our interview, it's surpassed 70% now. That you don't know how to explain it. The man I'm talking to right now. You don't know how to explain it because you lie to your significant other about what this process is all about. The gals know how to explain it, and whether they want to dump the asshole or not is how they explain it. Because no right person in the head would go through what your significant other is going to have to go through if you're successful. They'd leave now, you know how you see in the movies, the woman is, the husband walks into the bedroom and the woman has got her suitcase open and throwing the fucking shit in the suitcase, she's leaving? That's what they do. If they had any clue, if you're going to get up there, the odds are 70% you're going to have another, you're going to be smarter the second time around. You won't have any partner. You won't have any partner. This week, we're going to introduce 11 new Hall of Famers, which the names aren't going to be given, because we've learned from 28 years that then you hound them and you show up at their house and you do all kinds of ugly shit because of your innate insecurities. We're going to talk about the seminar has been updated since September because things have changed since September. Thank you. Later on in the week, we're going to have a live webinar with what I call the Goomba Brothers, two brothers from Florida of Cuban descent that were skeptical in the beginning, and now they're ripping it apart. And then we're going to have another from New York City who's just, I talk about him, 0 to 70 million in less than a year, and he's exited just recently. He's going to talk to you live. And then we have a number of other webinars as recent as the last 90 days of kids that are out there. Now because people are less inclined to believe that Corona is a benefit to us are wrong. They're more inclined, Corona, as I predicted in early 2020, we were going to have at least 4 waves. Shit was dumped upon me because of that. And here we are in the 4th wave. And I wish that I could tell you it's going to get better, but it's going to get a lot fucking worse. We're going to discuss in some depth the recent climate change fiasco that was in fucking Glasgow, of all fucking places to have it in Glasgow. How many in this room have been to Glasgow? 1, 2, 3. Okay, Sally, we're not counting you. Anyway, I have more jokes about Glaswegians other than I got hit in the head with a brick coming outside of a pub by 3 200-pound women 35 years ago that thumped the shit out of me. True story. That's not why I have bad things to say about Glasgow, because I recovered from that. My pride has still not recovered, I might add, but at least I talk about it. That's where global warming, climate change started, in Glasgow in 1880, the steam engine. And so then they have this fucking thing in Glasgow. What a fucking joke. But most of the morons that watch the news don't know that. They don't know that. Why they had it in Glasgow, God only knows. But the only thing I agree with Greta, the little Swedish bitch, is that they said blah, 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 blah. That's all was accomplished in Glasgow. Nothing. I'm also going to discuss this week why the richest countries in the world did not own up to and put in the $100 billion that was promised in 2015. Why? Not because they thought it was too late, which I think is too late, because they know that when you give the money to the third and fourth world countries, they're going to steal it. And not one fucking dime is going to get down, I should say, to where it's supposed to. But nobody talks about that. Because you can't talk about the poor minorities, as they say in Texas. They steal all the fucking money. Now, the only country I really have some knowledge, direct knowledge, is Haiti. Having once wanted to invade it 30 years ago, I have mentees there. And of the billion so dollars that has been given over the last 10 or 15 years, $5 million they can account for. Because they steal it. So why would a rich country want to, it doesn't matter whether it's right or wrong. Why would you want to you might as well piss the money down a rat hole. You might as well burn it. But nobody talks about it. And I'm just starting to get revved up because of my upcoming political career. And I'm going to tell the truth. And the truth is the only blade that anybody understands. But it's not inconceivable to me because I've been doing this a long time now. But it still bothers me intellectually how naive people can be. How naive. This makes it even better for us. I was telling, I met with half a dozen of you so far this afternoon, and I said, and I've said for years and years and years, it's easier than taking candy from a baby, which I get a lot of shit about. And it's easy as shooting fish in a barrel. I get a lot of shit about that. But I've got to come up with a new phrase that it's even easier than those two metaphors. Because we've almost doubled, 95% up. It's close enough for government work. We've doubled our closure rates. And we've doubled we had this group that we're inducting into the Hall of Fame is twice as much as we've had in 10 or 15 years. 10 or 15 years. And off camera, we'll go through the individuals. The slide you're going to see tomorrow, their faces are blurred because they have facial recognition now. And some of the assholes track these people down through facial recognition. That's how desperate. Again, you come here because of one of two reasons. Desperation or inspiration. And I don't see one fucking inspired person. And I've read through all your files. And if you look depressing, you read more depressing. Most of you should have rolled down the leg of your mama, your fat hippo pig mama when she was pregnant. Should have, instead of conceiving, you should have just rolled down and kind of flipped off your mama's kneecap, the sperm, onto the, well, you probably were conceiving on the floor, onto the wood of the floor. There's a reason I ask you the question, were you born on purpose or conceived on purpose? It's very interesting to see your questions. Some of you know, some of you think, and some of you pray. Most of you are an accident. And when you go home, not right away, don't belabor this with your mother, because I have some respect for females. Ask your dad, in an off moment, was I on purpose? And when the universal, you know right away, you weren't. But it's all the more reason why it's our time. The world is fucked up. And my black swan is coming. My black swan is coming. And we're going to talk specifically how to take advantage of it. The program, the QLA model, already takes advantage of the weakness, the apathy, and the sensitivity of the world. But now we're going to get a new way to take advantage of it. Because people are going to be more motivated to sell. Because there's only one moving part in this program. And that's a motivated seller. Only one. Okay? Without that, you're pissing in the wind. Most of you, so far of the individuals I've talked to, there was not one deal worth pursuing. That'll probably be the same after I talk to all of you. Not one deal worth pursuing. By the way, for those of you, we have one active duty military in the room. Thank you for your service. And for those of you that have served, thank you for your service now. But as I was telling the active duty military guy earlier, it doesn't stick in my throat when I say that. But it almost sticks in my throat because when I got out of the military, they fucking spit on me. I had to carry a motherfucking baseball bat to get to class in college. So 50 years later, these are like Trojan soldiers, you know, and which even the military guy back there is laughing because they're not Trojan soldiers. But thank you for your military anyway. After dinner, we will have our honored guests up here to answer questions. And not how much sleep you did or how many sit-ups. I mean, things that are germane to what you're thinking about when you go back. Most of you haven't focused on it. For those of you that are single, no attachments, you're in the best shape. Because the biggest roadblocks, even though they're only speed bumps, like out here on my driveway, you'll think they're fucking Mount Everest, are a spouse, children, parents, extended family, siblings, and that kind of thing. Those are the things that will hinder you. And for those of you of certain ethnicities, i.e. Asian, i.e. Latin, where familia is a big thing, you're fucked. I came here 40 years ago to get away from that. And I was already more successful than anybody in this room because I knew I couldn't on a regular basis tell my mother no. I knew on a regular basis I could not go to the weddings. I know that I couldn't say no on a regular basis to the funerals and all the bullshit that goes along with being in an active family. So I left. To date, we have had one relative visit me here in 40 years. My kid brother, twice. And this would be a neat place to come and have a vacation if you were a cousin or something, right? Not this fucking place. When I was growing up, I didn't want poorness to rub off on my kids. It's not easy. But you're going to hear the 14 or 15 mentees, successful mentees. I wouldn't show you not successful mentees, obviously. They're going to say, Mr. Peña doesn't want me to say this, but it's not easy, but it's easy. And why don't I want him to tell you that? Because if you leave here thinking it's fucking easy, you're going to fail. But if you leave here running towards a gunfire and killing every cocksucker in your way, metaphorically speaking, of course, my lawyers are happy now, metaphorically speaking, you've got a good chance of succeeding. The gals have a better chance of succeeding because they're better multitaskers. And I don't know these two ladies, but in general, gals have a better chance because they've got to balance a lot of things in their life. Any questions? And there are such a thing as stupid questions. Did you already give them the etiquette pitch? Most of you are pigs. You don't know which fucking fork to eat with. And whose fault is that? Your fucking parents. Most of you don't know when to stand up, sit down, or shit. You don't know anything. And whose fault is that? Your fucking parents. You're fucked up because of your parents. In Roman times, I say go back and kill them. Not metaphorically speaking in Roman times, because I'd mean it. Yet we don't have enough. We could have 300 in here. And the reason why it's 24, thanks to my lovely wife Sally, we coronated the castle. We added extra bathrooms, so each bedroom had its own bathroom, and we did a bunch of other stuff. And fortunately, I didn't knock this fucking thing down 4 or 5 years ago, which I contemplated, because I never thought I'd have use for it. And of course, now man plans and God laughs. You're going to get the state-of-the-art, best of best practices, updated even from September. But if you don't use them, And if you don't pull the trigger, you wasted your money. Most of you wasted your money anyway. When I asked you, what's the highest performance thing your mother ever did? Nothing. What's the highest performance thing your father ever did? Nothing. What's the highest performance thing that your grandparents on both sides? Nothing. What's the highest performance thing you've ever done? Nothing. I was captain of the football team. I made the wrestling squad. So fucking what? I graduated. It's amazing. In the 90s, the people that came here were on the dean's list, if you know what that means. That means you got good grades. Most of you got bad grades and still graduated. So if your family, historically, has accomplished nothing in the last 3 or 4 generations, what are the odds of you accomplishing anything? None. Yet we can still turn you. We can still turn you. If you follow the fucking steps, I say if you follow the fucking steps at least 100 times during the seminar. Why do I say that? Because you don't follow the fucking steps. You look for a shortcut. You look for a tip. There are no shortcuts to high performance. And I've never, ever seen in 76 years a part-time high performance person. Never. Some of you will say, I'm working on it, Dan. And by the way, I'm Mr. Peña in this seminar. Not Dan. I'm working on it, Mr. Peña. Do you think Steve Jobs ever said, I'm working on it? Do you think Elon Musk ever said, I'm working on it? No. Success leaves clues. And we're going to give you 1,000 clues this week. And it's up to you to follow them. Duncan, hit it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the dinner show.